Okay, let's start. So we're talking about VPC, which is Virtual Private Cloud, and that's a long lab. So what is Virtual Private Cloud? First of all, it's Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. It lets you provision a logically isolated section of the Amazon Web Services cloud where you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you define. So you can make a LAN with private IPs in your public cloud. That's in English what it's saying now. So you have complete control over your virtual networking environment, including selection of your own IP address range, creation of subnets, and configuration of route tables and network gateways. So we're going to create all that, and well, there's a lot of introduction there as well. So on the website, so you can use both IPv4 and v6 in your VPC for secure and easy access to resources and applications. So we will be using IPv4 private IPs there to create our subnets, local subnets there within the public cloud. And you can easily customize the network configuration for your Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. For example, you can create a public-facing subnet for your web servers that has access to the internet and place your backend systems such as databases or application servers in a private-facing subnet with no internet access. So we can create multiple subnets there, and you can leverage multiple layers of security, including security groups and network access control lists to help control access to Amazon EC2 instances in each subnet. So let's talk about it in English now. Okay, so here, MS Paint. So we're going to be, we are already logged into AWS VPC. VPC is just Virtual Private Cloud, which is the working area in which we're creating everything. So once we log into AWS, we are actually logged into Default VPC. We're already working inside the Virtual Private Cloud. So inside we created virtual machines, elastic load balancing. We went for virtual disks there, and whatever, and all the storage that we talked about. So we were working in a default VPC or default virtual private cloud. So it was a private cloud or private network for us to do any of those labs that we wanted to do. But what we will be doing, we will create our we'll create our VPC first of all. So once we create our own second private cloud, so suppose this green is the VPC here, and so this will be our a non-default VPC. So it is called non-default. First of all, whatever we create ourselves is called non-default VPC, and this is called VNet in Azure, Microsoft Azure Cloud. This is called VPC here. So well, I still need to see what it is called in Google Cloud. But it is virtual private cloud, or our virtual private network, or a LAN inside a public cloud or somebody else's data center. So non-default VPC, when we create there, we will be creating two subnets there inside, and one subnet will be public subnet. We're working in our AWS, and other subnet will be the private subnet. So we're going to create a public subnet. Excuse me. So we could connect to that subnet, and private subnet is obviously not open for anyone else other than the traffic coming from the public subnet. So this is your private subnet. Now the speciality of that is that whatever traffic is coming to this private subnet must be coming only from public subnet. It's not gonna let you connect directly from your desktop or laptop to this private subnet. You yourself cannot connect to this private subnet. You have to first connect to the public subnet, then from there you can go inside your private subnet. So this is really secure than how we can create our environment. So here once we create our public subnet, we're going to be creating here internet gateway. So we're going to be creating IGW here, which is internet gateway. Internet gateway. Now, what is the purpose of that? Obviously, if you want to communicate from your machine to the private subnet machines here, so you have to connect to the AWS, then to the internet gateway. So any traffic from internet will be acceptable. And then from there, you're going to connect to your non-default VPC that you created yourself. And from there, non-default VPC, you will connect to the public subnet first. Then you're going to connect to the private subnet. So you have to create all that data flow, and you're going to configure all the network components there. Definitely, if you are able to connect to the private subnet EC2 instance or the virtual machine there, only then this lab is complete. So we're imagining that we are having our own branch here, and we have a machine here from which we need to connect to the virtual machine or EC2 instance in the private subnet. So data flow would be coming from our local branch server or computer. So local branch server, and this is on premises. So from there, we're going to be connecting from this to our internet gateway. Internet gateway will let us connect to the VPC, and VPC will let us connect to the public subnet. Now, within the public subnet, obviously you need to go inside some virtual machine. So we're going to be creating here one public EC2 instance and one private EC2 instance. Our objective today for the VPC lab, just to understand the components of the VPC or virtual private network, is virtual private cloud, is that you need to go remote desktop into the this private EC2 instance. So this instance is called private VM. So if we are inside the private VM, if every one of us is able to go inside the private VM here, then our lab is complete. So if we are not able to go, of course, then we have to troubleshoot what's going on here. So we're going to be creating here public VM, and then from public VM, we're going to be connecting to the private VM. So if we follow, obviously, all the steps, you will be able to successfully connect. So again, the data flow would be that we're going to try to make a connection from our local desktop to the public VM, and that public VM is also known as, there's another terminology for that, that is called Bastion VM. So that's a weird name, but okay. So, or jump PC. So Bastion VM or jump PC. So jump PC is that you connect to that PC or machine, or jump server, you can say, but after that, so actually let's put it jump server. So we're going to jump from our desktop inside the public subnet to this public VM, which is also known as jump server or the Bastion VM. And from there, because the private subnet is only accepting traffic from this public subnet, and this private, obviously this private VM will be accepting traffic coming from this public VM. So we're going to first jump inside this public VM. From there, we're going to open a second remote desktop connection, and from here we're going to go inside the private subnet and private VM. If you reach here, you're good. So if we do not reach here, then we have to troubleshoot what's going on. So there are many components here when we create our non-default VPC, our own VPC or our own private network in a public cloud. So if we want to create that, so there will be a lot of components that we need to configure. So in a non-default VPC, we will be creating subnets. We will be creating route tables, and internet gateway, EC2 instances, security groups. So these are all the things that we're going to be creating there, and step by step we're going to go. It might prove to be a long lab. So since I have brought the a charger with me, so we have enough power today to last till 10. And we're all excited about it, even if somebody's hearing me anyway. Oh, okay, just kidding. So, yeah, see? Excitement in the air. Woohoo! Yeah. Yeah, see? Okay, so, again, let's just go ahead and try to understand some more components here, and then let's do that lab. So, well, this is in English, I explained. Now let's get back to the slides. Normally, you know, when we start reading slides, it's like so boring. Okay, anyway, oh, I'm recording that. So, am I recording that? Oops. Okay, ignore that. Yeah, I'm recording that. So, differences between ACL and security groups, and this could be very interesting questions 2 weeks after when I put the final term quiz or a practical lab for you, whichever. It's always a surprise. So, okay, so it's gonna be quiz then, I guess. Oh, okay. Whew. Just, you know, okay. So, okay, so differences between ACL and security groups. It is the level of granularity at which you want to restrict access to your instances. Now, ACL is also, you know, a set of firewall rules, and security groups are also, they also work as firewalls. So we're talking about two levels of firewalls. They both enable ports to, get the traffic in and out, and block ports to block any type of traffic. So if I go back to the diagram here, the ACL or NACL, that is Network Access Control List, and that is created on subnet level. So NACL is created on subnet level, while the security group is created on virtual machine level. Security group is created on virtual machine level, and then there's an OS level firewall as well. So NACL, again, I'll just put it here. NACL is first of all Network Access Control List, and it is created on subnet level. And then there is security group, which acts like a firewall as well, and it is created on Ec2 level, which is virtual machine, right? So, and then the third firewall will be the operating system level firewall. So when you're installing operating system at that time, you can enable the operating system level firewall. But NACL and ECL and security groups are these. So subnet level is NACL, and security group is a firewall on EC2 instance or virtual machine level. So virtual machine level. Okay, so that's why we're going to be NACL will be created automatically, but security group we're going to be creating ourselves, two security groups as well. So one for public subnet, one for private subnet. But again, the main purpose of the whole lab is, the objective of the whole lab is how to get to the private subnets, private VM, with the help of public subnet. So, and public VM. So this is how we're going to do that. And if there are any questions, let me know. Otherwise, let's go ahead. So here, differences between ACL and security groups. It is the level of granularity at which you want to restrict access to your instances. There are a couple of points to note here. Network access control lists are applicable at the subnet level. So any instance in the subnet with an associated NACL will follow rules of NACL. So you want to block some ports, you don't want to block the ports, you can do it on subnet level. So port 25 email traffic, port 80 HTTP traffic, port 443 which is your HTTPS traffic, port 1433 which is your database traffic. So all these can be allowed or blocked with the help of NACL, security groups, and operating system level firewalls. So that's not the case with security groups. Security groups has to be assigned explicitly to the instance, but NACL is assigned automatically to the subnet that you create. So by default, your default VPC will have a default network access control list, which would allow all traffic, both inbound, outbound. So NACL allows all the traffic. By default, it is open, right? So by default, security group is closed, but by default, the NACL is always open. So you want to first, close the NACL, block everything, and then open only what you want to block, open, right? So if you want to restrict access at subnet level, it's a good practice to create a custom NACL and edit it with the rules of your choice. And while editing, you could also edit subnet associations, where you associate a subnet with this custom NACL. Now any instance in this subnet will start following NACL rules. So it's just saying that first create an NACL and then custom NACL, and then attach it to whichever subnet you want. That you want this traffic allowed, this traffic blocked, that traffic allowed, that traffic blocked. So you decide that before you create the subnet. NACLs are stateless, unlike security groups. Security groups are stateful. If you add an inbound rule, say for port 80, it is automatically allowed out, meaning outbound rule for that particular port need not be explicitly added. So, stateful just means that if you create an inbound traffic, if you allow the port 80 traffic or HTTP traffic inbound, so it will automatically create an outbound rule for that too. But NACL, you have to create separate inbound rule and separate outbound rule, right? So that's something that we will be doing as well. In security groups, you cannot deny traffic from a particular instance. By default, everything is denied. So security groups lock everything as soon as you create a security group that attaches to a virtual machine or EC2 instance. So you can set rules only to allow. Whereas in NACLs, you can set rules both to deny and allow. So NACL, you have more flexibility, and there, by denying and allowing only the instances of your choice, you get to take more granular decisions. So that's the difference between there's many points that are different in security groups and NACL, but they both do one basic thing, that is allow and deny ports for specific traffic. Security groups evaluate all the rules in them before allowing your traffic, and so it's a good practice to have your deny rules first in NACL and followed by allow rules. AWS best practice is to number your rules in increment of hundreds in NACL. So suppose rule number first is 100, second rule is 200, third rule is 300. So additionally, you can create a hardware virtual private network connection between your corporate data center and your VPC and leverage the AWS cloud as an extension of your corporate data center. So you can connect from your branch through VPN and to your AWS console as well. So about features and benefits, so multiple connectivity options are there. A variety of connectivity options exist for your Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. You can connect your VPC to the internet, to your data center, or other VPCs based on the AWS resources that you want to expose publicly and those that you want to keep private. So you can make many connections there, many ways you can connect to the VPC through VPN, through internet, and through actually lease line as well. So connect directly to the internet, public subnets. You can launch instances into a publicly accessible subnet where they can send and receive traffic. So connect to the internet using NAT as well, network address translation. Private subnets can be used for instances that you do not want to be directly addressable from the internet. Instances in a private subnet can access the internet without exposing their private IP address. So you can NAT, you can put the, we're going to be putting, as far as our diagram is concerned, we're going to be putting internet gateway here, but you can also put here VPN. You can use VPN to connect to your VPC, which is virtual private cloud, or your private network inside your AWS public cloud. You can also create NAT gateway here as well. But we're going to go for internet gateway, which is IGW, instead of VPN. But we could connect from our local branch to our VPC through these other ways as well. So through VPN we can connect, and through NAT we can also connect, right? But we're going to be connecting through IGW. This is what we're going to be actually doing. So let's go ahead a little and connect securely to your corporate data center. All traffic to and from instances in your VPC can be routed to your corporate data center over an industry standard encrypted IPsec hardware VPN connection. So it is saying VPN connection is also, then you can also connect privately to other VPCs, peer VPCs. So if I go back to the diagram here, suppose you create a private VPC here, then you get your credit card or your friend's credit card, and then you go to another AWS account and then create your non-default VPC there as well. So those two VPCs can communicate with each other as well. So separate AWS and separate VPC can communicate with each other, or basically you can just create 5 total non-default VPCs here. So we're going to create one VPC here and non-default, but you can create 4 more, and each VPC you can create 200 subnets. So that's a lot of subnets that you can create to make your environment really secure and customized. So connect to Amazon S3 without using an internet gateway or NAT, and control what resources requests or users are allowed through a VPC endpoint. So some maximums and minimums I'm just gonna go to. So you can have up to 5 non-default Amazon VPCs per AWS account per region. So we're going to be creating our first non-default Amazon VPC or virtual private cloud now, and you can have up to 4 secondary IP ranges per VPC. So we're going to be using our IP range, whatever private IP range they will be giving us, and you can create up to 200 subnets per Amazon VPC. And also you can have up to 5 Amazon VPC elastic IP addresses per AWS account per region. So those elastic IP addresses we're going to talk about next slide. You can have up to 10 hardware VPN connections per Amazon VPC. So there are many ways to connect, and then there are non-default VPCs. I'm going to upload that slide as well, obviously. So elastic IP addresses are what? An elastic IP address is a static IPv4 address designed for dynamic cloud computing. An elastic IP address is associated with your AWS account. With an elastic IP address, you can mask the failure of an instance or software by rapidly remapping the address to another instance in your account. So if you have 2 instances and one instance fails which had an elastic IP address, so this elastic IP address will be automatically connected to the second instance which is surviving from that failure. So that's how it works. So let's go to our lab. Yay! Now we can look at the board. Oh, just kidding. Okay. So here, so let's assume we have application servers and database servers. We will keep our application servers in a subnet which is facing internet, and end users traffic in a public subnet. So we will keep our databases in a subnet which is not internet facing and will be in private subnet. So this is just look at our diagram now. Let's create a VPC and give it a CIDR address, classless interdomain routing address. So VPC name, we can just put your first name, non-default VPC, and CIDR IP range, we can just use 172.16.0.0/16. So this is going to be our VPC range now. And then we're going to create our public subnet, and we can just give public subnet name as your first name dash public subnet 1, and this is the range we're going to use, 172.16.1.0/24, and we're going to connect internet gateway to the public subnet. Obviously we're going to give a name to the gateway as well, routing table, then we're going to create the routing table that will connect your IGW, so your internet gateway, to your public subnet. Then we're going to create a private subnet as well, and that is the subnet name here. So we're going to give your first name dash private subnet 1, and we're going to give the range 172.16.2.0 to the private subnet /24, and we're not going to connect internet gateway to our private subnet here. And then we're going to create security groups. I'm going to tell you what to create there, and that's pretty much it. So let's get going with our lab. Yay! Or yay! Okay, so let's get going. Now let's log into our AWS console. As soon as I say this is your first screenshot, everyone will be at once back to the class. So, and oh, I'm sure you're in the class now. So, oh, okay. So here, AWS Management Console. Let's go to services here, and once you go to services, you can go way down to the network and content delivery, and the first one is VPC here. I hope everyone is able to check that, or you can just type in the search VPC and you will be able to go there. So first is go to services here, and then click the VPC. Oh, did you already click that? Okay, too late. So click VPC. Once we click the VPC here, we're inside this VPC or virtual private cloud here. We're about to create our private network inside our public cloud, AWS cloud. So we're going to take our first screenshot here, where obviously your name is showing on the top right here, and this whole screen is showing. So take your first screenshot. Okay, I think I should just create for screenshots only. So that's Tuesday Eve, AWS, and screenshots. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's get going. And that's your week 12 actually. 13, 14. Hey, just 2 weeks left. Woohoo! Okay. Okay, once you've taken a screenshot here, let's go to the left side here where you see this your VPCs, right? Let's click the your VPCs. And here, do you see your VPC? So there's one VPC already created there, right? So let's just type here. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. Yes. So I'm suggesting here, or not suggesting, we must do that because otherwise you're going to be in trouble. So see this? There's a once you hover over there, you see a pencil sign here, right? So that pencil sign, go ahead and click that, and exactly write this default dash touch me not dash your first name. So you see a hovering pencil sign here, click that, and if you want to, once you're done with that, you have to press the arrow button to save this configuration. So default dash touch me not dash your first name. This means that this is a default VPC which AWS has created for us. So we're not supposed to delete that at the end of the class. If you deleted this one before next class, call the support to create your VPC again. Do not delete this VPC, right? We're working, all our course labs will be done in this default VPC that is given from AWS to us. So that's why just put a big sign there, touch me not, and your first name and default. We're not supposed to. We're going to be deleting the second VPC that will be right beside it. So don't make the mistake of deleting this one, right? Otherwise, good luck. So if you've written all this, then click the arrow sign here to save this configuration here or save this name here. We've done that, right? So let's go ahead and create our VPC. So let's click the, so I'm just going to uncheck that first. Uncheck that first. Okay, let's click the create VPC. And now we need to give the VPC name here. So it would be your first name dash non dash default space VPC space 1. So we can create 4 more VPCs, but this is just first one non-default. So there's a default given from AWS. We're not supposed to touch that, but this one is where we're going to do all our work. And at the end of the lab, of course, we're going to delete this one, non-default one. So we can give any range here, network range. So we're going to go for 172.16.0.0/16. Right? So give this range to your VPC. So we can create 200 subnets, maximum of 200 subnets to within our VPC. So today I'm going to be sending you the project file as well, and that would have a VPC with 4 subnets, right? So what you're doing now is 2 subnets, one's a public subnet, one private. So the project would be, one of the lab is that you're going to still connect to one public and one private, but there will be 3 more private subnets other than that. And you need to just make the communication to 3 more private subnets. So it's just a little longer than this, that's all. It's the same thing. So you can follow this, but obviously the IP range will be different and names will be different there. So okay guys, here if you have given that, now if you drop down this, so there's a default and there's a dedicated. If you want this subnet to be created on your dedicated network, and dedicated hardware needs to be used for this, so it's going to charge you, they're going to charge your company, but let's just stick to the default here for now. And if you have created this, take a second screenshot here where you have written all this. So once you've taken a screenshot here, click create. So it's created now, click close. So now it's very clear, there's a default which we are not supposed to touch, and there's that non-default where we're going to work now. So that's the first thing. We create our VPC. I'll select that VPC here. Once you select your non-default VPC 1, and that's the only one we're going to create, but we're still saying it VPC 1. And you can see the description, the CIDR blocks here, flow logs and tags. So we're good here. I have created a couple of gazillion screenshots here of my own for this lab, just to make sure that I don't, miss any steps here. That's a lot of steps. So we're going to be checking our DHCP and DNS options here, and both are supposed to be on default levels. So if we go back to, so if you have selected your default VPC here, then click the actions on the top, and you can see this. Added DHCP option sets, added DNS resolution, added DNS host names. So let's first click the edit DHCP option set, this one for your non-default VPC, if it is selected in the background. So let's click that edit DHCP options, and DHCP option set, we don't have any extra one. We could just make it no DHCP option set, but it's okay. Now we're just double checking if it is correctly configured, and it is correctly configured. We don't have to make any changes here. So click cancel. So no screenshot here, click cancel. Good try. So you want me to run our screenshots, and okay, so again the non-default is still selected. I'm going to go to actions again. I'm going to go to the edit DNS resolution this time. So click the edit DNS resolution, right? So once we click the edit DNS resolution, this is already enabled. Yes, we want name resolution to work inside the VPC, so DNS resolution is okay. So I'm just going to click cancel, and then there is that edit DNS host names. So I'm just going to click the edit DNS host names as well, and check that it is not enabled right now, and so it's okay. Leave it as not enabled or leave it unchecked, no changes there, and click cancel as well. Later we might come back here, and then we might make changes if required. So click cancel here as well. So these are the three things we checked on the VPC level, virtual private cloud level, or your private network that you're about to create there, that you have DHCP and DNS configured this way. Then I'll check my screenshots here. Yeah, we're done. What? We kept it unchecked, right? So, okay. So let's go ahead and create the first subnet, the public subnet. Hey, okay. So here in public subnet, we are going to just name it exactly like this. I'm just going to go ahead and so here, if you see your VPCs, so on the left side you can see your subnets here. So click the subnets. So these are all the default subnets. If it says default, definitely do not touch them, right? So any of the defaults, we will be deleting our created subnets. So obviously stay away from the defaults. So once you're in the subnets area, click create subnet here. Once you click the create subnet, let's name it your first name dash public subnet. Public space subnet space 1. So this is your first name dash public subnet, and of course the VPC we have already created there, and this is your first name non-default VPC1. Go ahead and select your VPC here. Once you click and select your VPC, then we get the range here. That's the /16. So we're going to be creating our own range for this public subnet. Now there is availability zone and no preferences written there, right? So we can just stick to 1A. So availability zone, let's go ahead and click 1A here.
I don't have 1A.
Oh. Oh, okay guys, are we all connected to? Oh. So, yeah, you just have to recreate again, or? Yeah.
I just create something.
Yeah. Now, do you have the VPC as well?
Oh, it seems like I have to create my VPC.
Okay. So, you remember how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just going to delete that first one that I created then. Is that correct, sir?
Well, in this region, it's a new one, so we can delete later as well or now as well. It's up to you. Default. Your first name dash non-default VPC1.
And that was
172.16.0.0/16, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Wow. So here we're gonna just give the CIDR block as 172 dot.
Mine keeps going to Ohio, sir.
Really? Wow. That's strange. Normally it's supposed to keep going to North Virginia, but it's opposite. Like
I've done it.
so VPC is there, and then subnets.
No, I have to create it because the one that when it keeps going to Ohio.
Okay.
So when I went to see, that's where it is. So
Okay. So select the in Ohio. You have to stay in Ohio.
Okay.
And let's delete that first. Non-default one. Yeah. And well,
change the name, right?
Yeah.
Because this is
Default.
default. And click it,
Yeah.
and then we create a new one, and it says Acl default.
Non-
VPC.
Yeah. That would be the big range.
That's North Virginia, done, close, and then select this one.
Well, you just go to Active Subnet because we already checked there, changing and making changes. You're still in conversation with it. So it's yeah. And that is the
Thank you, sir.
all right, so here, so the first name, public subnet 1, and your non-default VPC here, and now once you've selected that, then we select the US East 1A, and then we go for 172.1.0/24. 172.16.1.0/24. So if you have written all that, then let's create this subnet. Okay, so this is, I hope everyone has written that. Okay, so then let's go ahead and click create. Oh, I forgot. Well, it's too late now, right? That's a good one, right? Click close. So it's written like this, right? So we're going to be creating a private subnet as well. So let's click create subnet again. So let's click create subnet, and this time your first name dash private subnet 1. And the VPC is, of course, your non-default VPC here with your first name non-default. And then we're going to stick to our 1A here, availability zone. We're just working in 1A. And then the range here. So 172.16. We gave 1.0 to public subnet, so we can give 2.0 to private subnet. Just remember that. And /24. So if you have given that, let's click the create again. Oh, where's the screenshot, man? I can't see that. So, hey, I didn't say that. Come on. So, click create and close. I hope everyone has given the correct IP addressing and everything, because any mistake here, you won't be able to complete the lab. So, if it is looking like this now, suppose I just want to see the two subnets here instead and not the whole thing. So, you can go to the filter area here, this filter one, and just type your first name, because both subnets started with your first name. So just put your first name and press enter. So now it's just gonna supposed to show your first name. It's not showing me. Hey, what's wrong here? Really? Okay. So I just put your my first name space dash space. So if it looks like this, then let's go ahead. When? Okay. Take a screenshot here. So take a screenshot while the two subnets are created, and they look like exactly this. You filtered them, right? So take a screenshot. I'll just go back there. That's your third screenshot. Well, you can just put a name there. If it is really difficult, like it's not able to find your name there, so you can just keep it with the defaults as well. Really? Okay. That calls for -4 temperature. So close that. So put your name first. Just the name. Don't touch enter. And oh, there's a space here. There's no space here. Put them.
Yeah, because I saw your You need to
Boom.
put the whole thing.
Well, anyway, press enter now.
Same thing.
So he put the name different. So you can just put Subnet as well. Okay, help is here. But I did say that if you're unable to do that, just leave it like that. Like it's not really compulsory. But yeah. No? So, okay, cool. Thanks.
You can change the name too.
Yeah, exactly. The filter doesn't like the name, that's it. Okay, so here guys, if that is done, then let's go for the next set of steps here. So I'll just keep clicking here to my gazillion screenshots. And oh yeah, so we need to auto assign IP to the public subnet. So auto assign public IP to public subnet. So what does that mean? So if we go back here, so public subnet, we're going to be connecting according to the diagram. If we go there, so public subnet is what we will be connecting to. Directly we cannot connect to the private subnet. So public subnet must be giving automatically the public IP. So select the public subnet only. Select the public subnet only and then go to the actions until you see there modify auto assign IP settings. So this is only for public subnet. So once you select that and go to modify auto assign IP settings, that's it. Check the box here. Well, I'm still thinking about it. So last time you got a very big break. Come on, you just went in 1 hour, and that's like
once out of the whole semester.
Sir, this is a boring screenshot. I don't want this piece.
okay. So there's that vote. It's a boring screenshot. That's good enough. So let's click save. So select that and click save. That's a good one. Yeah. So let's. If it was interesting, I would have taken it. It's boring, right? So that's it. So we have done this configuration, but does it show here? If we scroll to the right side, if you keep going to the right side, auto sign. So auto sign IP is along to the right side, but it for one of the subnets it says yes. For the second one it says no, and it is supposed to say yes for the public subnet only. So if you have done that, we're good. So auto sign IP was the next thing. Let's just go ahead and if I go for again the gazillion screenshots here. Yes, yeah, we saw that. So okay, internet gateway. Well, this lab is finishing fast. That's not fair. Okay, so internet gateway. Let's create internet gateway. So let's create internet gateway. Now, what does that do? It will, if you don't create internet gateway here, you won't be able to connect from your desktop or laptop to your public VM directly, because the non-default VPC has no way to let the traffic from outside, from internet, come inside. So you have to create your own gateway for your own default non-default VPC. So, and guys, this is so I mean, similar steps you can create the same thing in Microsoft Azure, and I'm sure you would be able to create the same way in Google Cloud as well. The same whatever the private network is called there. So let's just go ahead, and our next step is now to create a gateway. In order to do that, do you see that under the route table? So under the subnets, you see route tables, then you see internet gateway here, this one. So let's click that, internet gateways. Okay, you have to mention clearly here, do not, so if you see the IGW already there, go to the pencil sign here as well, click the default, and here default your first name, or okay, first write that and then your name here as well. Oops, did I do that? Okay, yeah. Dash your first name at the end. So default touch me not, or simply do not delete dash your first name, and just click on the arrow. Yeah, I was about to say that. Thank God, keep saving my screenshots. That's why. Okay, so here, if you just put that, because when we delete our internet gateway, if you delete this default one, what will happen? Whenever you create a virtual machine in Next Labs, you won't be able to connect remotely to those, and that's gonna be not very good for you. So you will have to again request the support to create a new VPC for you with the default gateway. So default gateway, we do not touch at all. Uncheck that after saving that or clicking the arrow. Uncheck that. Once you uncheck that, let's create our own internet gateway, and we're gonna try to connect it to our non-default VPC. Our non-default private gateway will be connected to our non-default VPC. So let's click the create internet gateway here, and your first name dash internet gateway. Simple, right? So that is once you've given that name, your first name dash internet gateway, go ahead and click create, and it's done. So click close. So if we go back to our diagram here, in order to connect to the public subnet and private subnet, we are just creating a default gateway here, internet gateway. So if it is created here, you can see detached written here, red one. So let's attach it to our non-default VPC. So select this internet gateway and click actions, and you can see clearly here attach to VPC. So let's click the attach to VPC now, and it asks which VPC you want to attach to. So your non-default VPC. So go ahead and select that non-default VPC and then click attach. So once it is attached to your non-default VPC, take your screenshot here. That would be, so make sure it is non-default or the gateway that you created is selected, and you're taking a screenshot here. Till now, 4th screenshot, the score is good. Yeah, here take a screenshot. So if you've taken your 4th screenshot here, so we have further configurations to do. So we created our default gateway. Done. Yeah, we did that. Go ahead. Done. Now, oh yeah, we're gonna attach that as well. So attach to VPC. Done. So yeah, that's the screenshot you took, and then we go to the route tables. Yay! So let's create a route table. Attach one side of it to the internet gateway. Oops. And the other side to public subnet. So what are we about to do now? Now if I go back to the diagram here, we're about to create a route table, and that route table is supposed to connect. So there will be RT here. Now that route table is going to connect the internet gateway to, so I'm just gonna make that from IGW RT to the public subnet, this one, right? Public subnet. So if internet gateway is not connected to a public subnet, so it will receive traffic from internet, but it doesn't know which subnet to forward this traffic to. So this route table that we're about to create will tell that, hey IGW, when you receive a traffic from outside from internet, then simply forward it to the public subnet, not to the private subnet. So this is what the route table will do. So let's go ahead and create that route table now. So for that, you will see above the internet gateways, you can see this route tables. So let's click this route table now. Once you click the route tables here, oh, there's a default route table here, right? Does it say default on the right side like this?
There's two, but it doesn't say default.
Oh, there are.
No, it
does,
says
it
default
does,
in
it does.
VPC ID.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so definitely wherever it says default, we have to be extra careful here. So hover over that pencil sign again and just go ahead and put default big letters, do not delete or touch me not, dash your first name. And click arrow. So if you've done that, let's create our own route table. I explained already what's the purpose of that. It's going to connect the internet gateway to the public subnet, so the traffic could be received from internet gateway and forwarded to the public subnet only, right? So create route table. Let's click that.
Default one, or does it matter?
Uncheck that default and then create a new route table. Right, we're good, right? So once you create a route table here, obviously your first name dash route table, and we can actually put that there, that connecting IGW to public subnet. So that would be the purpose. We would all at once know what this route table is doing. So here, route table connecting IGW to public subnet, and which VPC, we know that already. So it is the non-default, your first name non-default VPC here. So you select that non-default VPC and the route table is created. But we still need to do the attaching part, which is going to be done once you have successfully created that. So if you've written all that, go ahead and click create. Right, so we're good, right?
Route, misspelled route.
Oh,
I'm not sure what it is.
yikes. Okay, so thank you for that. Route table and click create. Close. Now we have a route table created here, and let's select the route table that you just created. Now go ahead and select it, because we want to attach it. One side of the route table we need to attach to the IGW or internet gateway, second side to the public subnet. So once you attach that, you can see the routes written here, this tab. So let's click the routes tab here. Excuse me. So if you selected the routes tab, let's click the edit routes here. Once you click the edit routes, so you can you should be on this screen and click the add route now. So once you click the add route, so first of all we are saying that any traffic coming from 0.0. Well, as soon as you start typing that, maybe this pop-up is coming that it is 0.0.0./0. Any traffic from anywhere coming, then send it to internet gateway that we created. So internet gateway accept any traffic coming from anywhere. That's what we're saying here. So click the internet gateway. It will say which internet gateway you want to select. That's the only one we have. So select the one that we just created. So now we're saying that hey IGW, whatever traffic comes your way, forward it to, well, we haven't gone to the forwarded to public subnet, but we're just saying that receive whatever traffic is coming your way. So that if that is written here, click save routes, and route successfully edited, and click close. So this is the routes area where we have configured that. So take your screenshot here, because we're about to give the subnet association, but before that, take a screenshot here where it is selected and routes tab is selected, and you can clearly show 0 and the IGW selected here, right? If it is exactly showing like that, take your screenshot number 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, we're going slow. The score is good. This means we can survive till 10. Oh, come on. So here, then we click Subnet Associations. That's the second tab here. So one side of the route table is okay, connected to the IGW. Let's connect the second side to the public subnet. So Subnet Association, once you go there, then you can click Edit Subnet Association. So Subnet Association here, tab, and then click Edit Subnet Association. Once you click that, now you have only two subnets here. Which one are we selecting?
Private. Are you not associating it to the private?
See, is the expression here? No. So, see this? According to the diagram.
Oh, we did. Oh.
So,
now we have to do it to the public.
yeah. Exactly. So, the traffic is coming from outside, hitting the IGW, Internet Gateway. Then the route table is here. It is associating IGW to the public subnet. So, that's how it is in the diagram. Any questions here? Right? We're good, right? We understand that. So the main thing is, do we understand what we're doing? That's the main thing. And that's going to help you really in the interview, in the job as well. So let's get going and select the public subnet. It's going to hit, all the traffic will be hitting the IGW. From there, it will be forwarded to the public subnet. From the public subnet, we want the traffic to move forward to the private subnet and to the private VM. So if you reach the private VM, only then we can consider it as done lab. Otherwise, good luck troubleshooting. I'll go home. You'll sit here. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead. No, I'm gonna help you. So, come on. So I want to save screenshots for the last half hour before 10, right? Oh, okay. So here, if you selected the public subnet, click save. So the public subnet is showing clearly actually down here. Yeah, so we have associated it to the public subnet, and if it is showing here, take your 6 screenshot here. Did we even need a screenshot here?
Yes, we did. I took 2.
No, we just needed one. Like this one only, and the other one, of course, which I said already. So take a screenshot here as well, where the Subnet Associations tab is showing. Make sure that the Subnet Association tab is showing here, and so I'm just gonna go there, and this is your 6th screenshot. Oh, so once we have associated, so this is the portion where the traffic is forwarded from the Internet Gateway till the public subnet is supposed to go. So at least that portion is configured. So if I make that line again, so from here it is going to here, and then it's supposed to hit the public subnet. This much we have created already. So now further steps, let's go ahead and go to those gazillion screenshots here. It's hours of effort to create this lab and remove all the errors. Oh, that's a lot of screenshots. Let's keep going. Okay, so then we create EC2 instances, really? Okay. Well, we don't create EC2 instances, we create security groups. Exactly, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, it's written here. Let's create security groups. So what are security groups? Security groups are firewalls for the virtual machines. We're not creating virtual machines now, but once we create security groups, one for public subnet and one for private subnet, then we're going to attach it to the public VM, virtual machine, or EC2 instance, and private VM or EC2 instance there. So let's create our security groups, and once we go to the security group here, we're going to be naming it according to one public security group and one private security group, and attach it to VPC. But what are the ports that we are attaching there? That's the main thing. We're going to be connecting RDP port here, 3389. That is coming from anywhere on the internet, from the internet. And the second one, actually, we don't need ICMP, so we're just going to leave that alone. So let's just go back to our AWS here. So if you're here on AWS, let's go up to the services area like this. Go to the services like this and go to EC2 dashboard. So let's go to the services and go to the EC2 dashboard. So once you click the EC2 dashboard, you should be seeing this. And once you're on EC2 dashboard, you can go down to security groups. I hope everyone's able to see that. So again, EC2 dashboard, which is in services, here EC2. Once you go down, then within the EC2 dashboard, you have to look for security groups. So let's click the security groups here. And once you click security groups, ignore the ones that I have a huge amount. So we're going to create our two security groups, one for public subnet and one for actually public VM, one and one for private VM. So if you're here on this screen, click create security group now. I hope everyone's there. So click create security group. Once you click create security group, let's give it a name and allow some traffic to pass through this security group. So your first name dash SG, which is the security group, dash public So once you have clicked it, now just select the whole thing, Control C and Control V. Without description, it's not gonna let you go ahead. So just put the same thing here, and obviously the VPC would be our non-default VPC here. So click that non-default VPC. So once you've done that, and it looks exactly like that, so let's go and enable some ports here. So inbound traffic, which will be the that remote desktop traffic. So let's click the add rule here. Let's click the add rule and then just search for RDP. And that is a bit down here, this one, RDP. Go down a little, you'll find the RDP traffic there. RDP protocol, remote desktop protocol. So once you click the RDP, it goes for this port range 3389, remote desktop port range. So, and the traffic, instead of custom, we can go anywhere. We can click the anywhere here. So now the traffic is allowed from anywhere from the internet connection, from internet. So this is this security group will be attached to the EC2 instance or virtual machine that will be inside the public subnet. So if it is going to be attached to the VM in public subnet, so if I go back to the diagram here, so the public subnet here will have a public virtual machine or EC2 instance. So the security group that we are about to create now, we will attach this security group to the public VM here, which means allow traffic from internet gateway to the routing table, to the public subnet, and from there allow it to be connected to the public virtual machine here. So we will try to land here to the virtual machine. So we're enabling all the paths here. So we can successfully create a remote desktop path to this virtual machine. So let's go back here. If you have selected all that and configured this information, so click create. So now, oh, okay. So it's this one, right? So obviously we need to give it a name. So just first of all, search in the group name, what is the name of your public subnet? And I hope you know that's on the clipboard, the name we selected. So click the pencil sign here and Control V. That's exactly the same name that we gave during the creation. We're going to give here in the name column as well. And click arrow again. We got it? Okay, so then let's go ahead and create security group again, and then we're going to be creating now a private subnet. So let's click the create security group. Now be careful here because that's a little different setting here because of the requirements are different. So your first name again dash SG dash private, Control A, Control C, and on the description Control V. So copy paste the whole thing in the description as well, and of course the non-default VPC is already selected here. Non-default VPC is already selected. then click the add rule here as well. Now this one also is receiving RDP traffic, so select RDP here as well. But the unique thing about this is that the private subnet can only receive traffic from public subnet. So if I go back to the diagram here, the only thing here is to understand that the private subnet cannot receive traffic from outside. So it's not gonna receive that traffic from outside. It is only accepting traffic from public subnet. And do we know the IP range that we gave to the public subnet? Anyone remembers that? Exactly. So private subnet is receiving traffic only from 172.16.1.0/24. That's the only subnet that is receiving traffic from. So if we are creating the private subnet here, as you said, so let's put the 172.16.1.0/24. So this means that the private subnet will not let you connect directly from the desktop to its virtual machines inside the private subnet. If you connect to the public subnet first, then from there, if you're coming to the private subnet only, then it will let you go inside the virtual machines in private subnet. So this is what we need to understand here, the traffic flow that we are creating here according to the diagram. Okay, so if that has been carefully written here, because it's not going to work if any mistake is here at the end, you're not going to be able to do the lab successfully. So you'll have to sit here and, good luck, kind of troubleshooting. So if that is done, go ahead and click. Did I say click create? Anyone created?
Yes.
Okay, too late.
Sorry.
So click create.
Art ruined my life.
I was about to say take screenshot, but I'm not going to say that now because of that one yes here, right? So grab that guy after the class. Thank you very much. Okay, so anyway. So, okay guys, here, where's the second one? Oh, that's the second one. So we have to change the name to be careful when we are deleting at the end of the class. We're deleting only what we created, not the default ones. So go to the pencil sign for the private subnet, Control V again because it's in the clipboard already. So you're gonna just put the same name here as well and click arrow sign to confirm that. So now the names are here. I hope we are able to filter this one as well. So if you go to the filter here, you can put your name, and if I put space dash space or space hyphen space and press enter, it filters. Woohoo! Okay, so if it does filter, it does, right? Okay, so then take your 7th screenshot or 6th screenshot or 7th. Oh. So take a screenshot here, take a screenshot here. By this time last class, we were on 15th screenshot, right? I just want us to feel more miserable right now. Just kidding. Okay, just kidding. Come on. Okay, so so here, what are we doing here? Yeah, we've taken a screenshot, and I was supposed to count it. 7. Good score. Okay. So we have created our public subnet and private subnet, and we have actually regulated the traffic by giving private subnet only the IP range of the public subnet, so it's only receiving traffic from public subnet. So according to the diagram, now we're good that the traffic we're going to connect from to IGW. IGW will forward the traffic to the routing table. Routing table will forward it to the public subnet. Public subnet will forward it to the virtual machine inside. From there, we're going to create another remote desktop connection. We're going to try to jump from here into the private subnet and into the private VM. That's the whole thing that we're going to do. So if we have configured everything correctly, we will be able to do it very smoothly. It's going to be very tricky to first go inside through remote desktop and then from there create another remote desktop connection and go inside the second machine. So let's see if we can do that. So if the subnets are created, I'm just going to go back to my billion screenshot document there and keep going down. Yep, we're done here. And we're supposed to create virtual machines. Oh, wow, we're at the end of this lab. Seriously? So let's create two EC2 instances, which is virtual machines. One public instance and other private instance. So of course, one virtual machine will be connected to the security group, which is public security group. One will be connected to the private security group. All right, so let us do that now. We're going to be selecting Windows 2019 base for both, but we're going to be very careful now which VPC, which subnet, which security group we're connecting the public and which VPC subnet we're connecting the private virtual machine. So let's go back to this. Now you're still in, when you were creating security groups, you were still inside the Ec2 dashboard. So if you go a bit up there, so this is still that Ec2 dashboard where you are, and you can see here instances. So click that instances within the Ec2 dashboard once you go way up. So once you click the instances, let's create our first instance. So let's click the launch instance here. Once you create the first instance, now it goes down to, we'll go down to 2019, Windows Server 2019 base. So if you see that, click select. So Windows Server 2019 base, I hope everyone's able to see that. So click select. Once you click select here, yes, it's the free tier eligible. Obviously, we will just keep it selected, the free tier, and click configure instance details here. So click the configure instance details. Now this is the page where we need to be very careful now. So this machine we're going to be creating for the public subnet. It's going to be the jump PC, the jump server, or the Bastion VM. So first thing is that this is your for one instance. This wizard will just create one instance. Second thing is the VPC has to be obviously the non-default VPC. We're creating this instance inside our non-default VPC. Second thing is, once you select that, the two subnets come here. Obviously, it's the public subnet we want this machine to be. So, and if we keep going down here, use subnet setting. So auto assign public IP is already selected there, right? Which is good. And capacity reservation placement, domain join directory. Do we still have that domain? No. Obviously, we deleted that. Oh, we never created a domain ActiveDirectory, right? Did we do the ActiveDirectory lab last time? Okay, so after this, yeah, that's why I'm saving screenshots, right? Okay, so I am role. We do not need anything else. So make sure that you selected the correct VPC, the correct public subnet. That's it. The two things that you're selecting here. So if you have done that, take your 8th screenshot now for this page. Oh yeah, finally a screenshot is coming. Yeah, we were so hungry about or thirsty about screenshots. So here, this is the configuration I want to see there that you are really, selecting there. So this would be our 8th screenshot. Oh. So let's go ahead and click the add storage here. So once we click add storage, nothing here on the storage. So let's click add tags. Let's go ahead and click add tags here, and nothing in the add tag as well. So let's click configure security group. Once we click configure security group, now we need to be careful here as well. We just need to select that security group that we already created. So go for select an existing security group. Once we do that, so because this is supposed to be a public subnet, so the decision is simple now. go for the group that says public. So once you select that, we're good, and it already shows that what ports, what kind of traffic is allowed through that security group into this virtual machine or EC2 instance. So it's just RDP traffic. So this is SG public written there. So let's click review and launch, and then just go ahead and click launch. Public security group, right? Okay, so here if you already have that key pair, I know that where my key pair is. So if you know where your key pair is, it's okay. Otherwise, well, let's create a new key pair. Maybe you forgot where the key pair you put there last time when you were creating it for any of the previous virtual machines. So go ahead and create a new key pair. Okay, since any one of us will be creating that, so I'll just create a new key pair. If you know where that key is, you can just use the existing one as well. So here so today's date is 26, right? Yeah. So I'm just gonna put that key pair as 26March2019 dash your first name dash key pair. Once you have created that key pair, I'm just gonna download key pair there. So just remember where you're saving that key pair. So click the download and save it somewhere you can access later. You would remember where you're putting that. So click save. So now click once you've saved and downloaded the key pair, let's click launch instances. I hope everyone was able to do that, and click launch instances. So I'm just going to click launch instances now. If you're on click launch instances, you can see this instance ID here. Let's click that ID. So it's going to show the instances here, and if you go to the left side, it's still click instances, although there's just one instance now. If there were multiple, then you click that just to see all other instances as well. So let's click and create the second instance now. So let's click the launch instance once again. So click that launch instance. Again, we go to the same Windows Server 2019. We're creating that second instance or virtual machine for the private subnet now. So let's click the select button here for Windows Server 2019, and then general purpose T2 is okay. I hope everyone's with me. And click configure instance details, and we know now what to do here. Be careful. So first of all, it's just one instance. Second thing, it's the non-default your first name VPC. Once you select that, public subnet is selected, and obviously we will create this machine now for the private subnet. And yes, on the subnet level setting, we know that we did not auto assign public IP, we did not configure this option, so it's okay. And that's it. So non-default VPC, but this time it's the private subnet. So if you have selected that, okay, you know what, so take screenshot here, and that's screenshot number 9. That's it, right? So if you take a screenshot here, that's it. So click add storage. Go ahead and click add storage. So nothing in the storage, click add tags. Nothing in the add tags, click configure security group. Now we know what to do here as well. We will select the private security group now. So select an existing security group, and this time for this machine will live inside the private subnet. So private security group settings applies on that, which is that it's only accepting traffic from the public subnet, not from outside internet connection. It's only accepting it from public subnet. So if that is selected, click review and launch, and launch. Review, launch, and launch. Now you can just use the existing key pair, and that is 23rd March, which I created. 26 March, sorry. 26 March and select I acknowledge. You have to select the I acknowledge there, and you already obviously know where you saved that key. So let's click launch instances now. Okay, so you can see here your instances are now launching, and this is the ID. Yeah.
I don't get the option for private or public key, security groups.
You don't have.
Neither come up. They don't show up.
So you did select the existing
Yeah.
security group, and they're not showing up.
Yeah, they're not showing up.
Whoa, not good. Did you create a? So it's just a matter of whenever you created the security group, did you connect it to the non-default VPC? Only then it will show if you connected it to non-default. Oh, okay. So you don't see that? So you have to go to the security group and check that which VPC is connected to.
So what's so the preference not showing? Neither are showing. Well, neither. Yeah. Oh, okay. So security group, yeah, let's go inside. NSB private group. Okay. Oh, something. Yeah. Okay, it's all yours now. Okay. So yeah, you have to give him
Are we going on board?
okay, fiber brain. Or you want official to make, yeah, because you know where on screenshot level we are. Take a proper break now. You might need it now. No, I want. Oh, no. Good. No, I'm good. Oh my God. You need a cookie. One medium. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, nice try, man. I knew this. I knew I wanted to try iPhone. That's why I wanted to remove the keys.
I don't understand. Because I don't have a cache. It was always on machine. So if I don't get this, life, man. Fuck Jack. Who's Jack? Oh, that's Sue it. Oh, is that your credit card? Hold on. Ah, there you go, default. Yep, great on default. There you go. Yeah, no. So for the private security group, it's 172.16.0/34.
Private security group, the IP.
Yeah.
We don't have to give. Oh yeah. So private security group, it is 122.16.1.0/24. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So are we supposed to use Windows 2019?
Yeah. Well, no, not compulsory.
Okay, because I actually
Any.
made one in 2016.
Which is okay. Doesn't matter. And it was we were supposed to have the two instances started now, and that is if you click that second instance when you launch there. Well, oh, I resumed it. Okay. So the second instance that you launched there, you can just click this, and now you have the instance showing. But if you want to see the two instances showing, click on the left side here, and it is instances. So once you click the instances, you can see the two instances here, and well, the second one was actually the private one, right? So now if you have so select any one instance here and then go to its IP. If it is 2 dot something 122.16.2, then this is public or private. So if you select any one instance and go to this,
Oh, okay, yeah.
so if the
Private.
IP is 172.16.2, this means is it public or private? Private, exactly. So I'll just go there to this instance. If I confirm that it is the subnet is 2, so I'm just gonna click that pencil sign and make that change and just put it as private. Okay, your first name, EC. So private dash EC2 instance. Yeah.
For my computers, when I click both of them, it just says the public IP. It's the same. The private IP is not listed. But you had the private. Did you?
Oh, okay. Let me check that. So you have to just get the IP, right? Okay. Public IP address. So this means.
So you see it says there private IP, the whole time DNS. It's there, but at the top there, it's not.
Okay. Let me check that.
Yeah, it's interesting. 92.
So first of all, just this instance, right?
Sure. There is a private IP though.
Yeah. Normally, every instance have a private IP given there. So I'll explain that. So the private instance will not have a public IP, but the private IP. But the other one that has the public IP will also still be given a private IP as well. So don't worry about that if one instance has public and private and the other instance has just only private IP. So this is the private instance. Let's just follow this and put that name. But if you put that name on the private instance where you just see only the private IP here, now I'm going to go to the other one, and that has IP starting from 54 for me, right? So whatever IP is starting for you. So first of all, it's a public IP. This means that we can safely assume. So it also is supposed to have a private IP as well, which is totally normal. It is supposed to have a private IP as well. So don't worry about that, right? So here, if you selected this and you see public, so go to the pencil sign and obviously just write the same thing you wrote here. So I'll just copy this where I copied this or written the private. Instead of private, I'm just going to change it to public. So the naming could be exactly the same. And this is public and arrow. So now it should look like this. The instance names here, one is public, one is private, and we get to know from that that this is public from the public IP. The other one obviously will not get a public IP, so it only has a private IP, which is okay. So now the moment of truth, we have to make sure. So again, what was the plan here? That we will make a connection from here, and we should just directly be able to remote desktop into our public VM first. From there, we're going to launch another RDP connection, and we should be able to go inside, successfully log inside the private VM. So this is the ultimate goal here, and hopefully we will all be able to do that. So let's go back to our public instance. Obviously, we need to connect to first our public instance. First, we need to connect to public instance. So if you've selected the public instance, go ahead and do that. And then, before that, take a screenshot. So take a screenshot here for the two instances. Did it reach 10? Oh, this is 10. Wow, we're going too slow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll be fast. I'll let it tell. I'm just trembling now. It's okay. Just kidding. So here, so let's click the public, and then click connect. If our internet gateway is correct, routing table is correct, public subnet forwarding is correct, we should be remote desktoping into public VM easily. So let's select that public VM and click the connect button. Once you click the connect, we know the drill here, that first of all, click the download remote desktop file here. So we download the remote desktop file. And second is get the password. So we need to know where that key pair file is. So click the get password now. And this is the file name. It already shows here what file name we need to search there. So click the choose file, and wherever we saved it, just go there and grab it from there. So it's the 26March2019, your first name key pair. That's what I wrote as a name. So I'm just going to double click and select that file now. So I got this file, double click. So once I double click, it just shows this private key here. So click the decrypt password. Click the decrypt password, and suggestion is that always open Notepad. If you have multiple machines that you need to connect to, open a Notepad and copy the 3 lines here. These 3 lines. One is the password, second is username, third is public IP. You might need this information later as well. So Control C, and in the Notepad, Control V. So the public IP is this, and the password is this. So I'm just going to launch the remote desktop. We don't need to remotely connect like this from private instance. We will not be able to do that. We will not be able to connect to the private instance there, right? We have to go inside the public instance successfully. From there, we're going to launch another remote desktop connection from within the public instance and connect to our private instance from there. So that's the tricky part here. So I'm just going to go back to the remote desktop and click that and click connect. And if it shows you the password, you're good. So just put that password here and press OK. Once this screen comes, press yes. Good, right? Okay, if you're logged into the remote, this public VM, that's good news. If there's any error coming, let me know.
I can't connect to my close. I can move on without answer. Oh wait,
Anyone done till the private instance? No. So you're not able to?
I got it now.
Okay, cool. So here, let me know when everyone's connected and logged in fully inside the public instance. So that's the jump server that we were talking about. So if we go back to the diagram here, so we should be inside here, this machine, and from there we're going to make another remote desktop connection into the private subnet. Now, in order to make a remote desktop connection to the private subnet, we must know the local administrator password. And before even that, the private IP of this private VM, right? Private EC2 instance. So we need these two information to connect from within the public VM to the private VM now. So I'll just so if we are all connected, I assume that everyone has successfully connected to the public VM. So from there you can go to this Windows icon here, right click. You can go to the Windows icon here, right click, and go to run, and you have to type mstsc. So if I go here, so you have to type here mst, oh well, I have to click here and mstsc tsc. So this is Microsoft Terminal Services Connection or console or connection. So it's connection. So if you typed mstsc, press OK. So now we're launching the remote desktop connection. So this is the connection that opens. Now you need to know the private IP of that private virtual machine, right? So there is only one private IP written there. So just go back to the console here. This is a console, right? So if you click uncheck the public instance and check the private instance, so you see this IP already mentioned there, but don't go away from here, because you still need the local administrator password for the private instance. So select the private instance. We already got the private IP, that's good, but stay here and click connect. We don't need to download the remote desktop, but we need the password of administrator. So just click the get password, and because we gave the key pair to the previous machine, it also grabbed it automatically as well. So simply click decrypt password now. I hope everyone's there. So once you click decrypt password, this is what we needed, and I'll just copy the private IP, username, and this password, the 3 lines for the private instance as well. Control C. So Control C, and then I'll just put it there in my notepad. Now this is my private IP, and this is my administrator password for the private IP here in the notepad. So I'll go back to inside the public instance, which is the jump server or jump PC or Boston VM. So here I need to put that information, the information that I put in notepad for the private VM. So first is the IP here. I'll put that, grab that IP from here and put it inside this public VM. Remember that we have to go from within the public VM, remotely connect to the private VM. So we're putting the IP of the private VM here. Then as soon as we connect, it should ask for an administrator password. So if we connect like this, oh yes, it asks for administrator password. Everyone sees that screen, because you need to take a screenshot now. Oh.
We just filled in.
Are you already connected?
I'm not connected. I just got it filled in.
You gotta, okay. So you've way past the screen, or you're about to go there?
I'm literally at this screen.
Okay, so take a screenshot for this screen where you can clearly show the public IP. This means you're in a Boston VM. Then you clearly show that you put a private IP there, and it pops up for an administrator and password. Exactly this screenshot. So then, yeah, go ahead, and administrator is the information. If it's filled in, it's also okay. And then obviously that password. So I'm just gonna copy this password and Control V. So yes, so with this information, screenshot, or without this information but the same screenshot, it's okay. Both ways, it's 11th screenshot now, right? So if you got this information and then took a screenshot, that's also okay, or without this also okay, as long as the private IP is showing and the public IP here is showing. So go ahead and press OK and press yes, and we're good. So if you see this blue bar here, which is showing the private IP, while you see clearly here the public IP, that's your second screenshot. So the last one was 11th, and this will be your 12th screenshot. So if you see this, where your public IP is showing and your private IP bar is showing, this means you've remotely connected from the public IP machine to the private IP machine here.
And that's our 11th screenshot.
That will be your 12th screenshot.
12.
So this is our 12th screenshot, guys, right?
Okay.
All right. Oh, there's a help here.
All right, got it. So that's
Yes, take a screenshot here. Take a screenshot here. That is your 12th screenshot. Take a screenshot here.
So what was the screenshot is of the remote desktop in the other remote desktop, right?
Yep. So if you double click that blue bar here, so it should look like this. There's a remote desktop inside remote desktop. So we're done. Yay. Okay. Let's go for the next big lab. Yay. Hey, come on. Well, if that lab finishes sooner, you're good. So if we start soon, we can finish soon, we can go early. But there's a problemo here. No? You're good? No good? Oh, okay. Okay, let's solve this problemo.
So what happens?
Okay.
Oh, it's private. No, you have to explain if you are participant. I don't think I can. Okay. No, it's okay. You know the path is you can't. It shuffles. Yeah, but I got around it. I found a workaround. I just copied the public private IP down there. It worked. She has no idea. You're looking for your machine, right? And if we go to the private, so you're selecting this way. So I have to check the security groups. Hey, we have a second lecture. Oh, okay, I mean like, yeah, I mean like.
I know I'm very confident, but
Okay.
no, but like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure it's like,
Some of it's like just showing like yeah, that's it. So 116 dollars. One you gotta use and but mostly or why don't you download books? Let's prove it here. I'm first on community.
So now we're good. Yeah, you know the username?
Mine is all in the
So this one?
Online is international. This is the private, right?
No, I do this part of this. Okay.
This is for this, and what about the private? This is the second machine? Okay, but it is for private, right? No, I'm asking. This guy's input administrator. Administrator. No, administrator. AD, MI, NI. Oh, okay. So it's in a private in an accent.
So I forward it.
We're good. So we can just close that. No, there were two screenshots here, right? So we can close that connection again. One STC, and then we go here, and yeah, take a screenshot here first.
Okay, thank you so much.
This one screenshot, and then the second screenshot. Once you're done successfully, then second screenshot. Alright guys, let's start the next lab. It's a small one.
Oh, you're springing this on us just now?
So there's a villainous laugh. Okay, so okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay, guys. Now let's fill up this screenshot box, real fast. Yay! So, are we all ready?
Yes, let's go.
Already ready? Okay.
It's better to
Okay, guys. So first, let's carefully delete what we created, because the screenshots we needed, they're there, right? We do not need the non-default VPC now, and I don't want you to be charged for anything. But obviously, if you do get charged, just they will be, reimbursing you. So, guys, let's delete carefully what we created. So, go to services here. If all the screenshots are taken, let's start deleting it. So, if you see the services, then in the history you see VPC. Let's go to the history and VPC. So, once we click the VPC here in the history, I hope everyone's there. And then click the Your VPC. Click Your VPC. Once you click Your VPC here, so delete which one?
Your name.
Exactly. Your first name dash non-default. Select that. And once you select that, do you see the actions here? And there's a delete VPC written there. Don't go ahead. Don't be excited. Oh, I want to delete and click. That's it. So, just to keep that right hand, behind. Just put the left hand to keep the right hand under control. And because I need some screenshots, that's good for you. More screenshots. Earlier we go. So, okay. So here, select the non-default and click delete VPC now. Once you select this one, what does it say? The VPC contains one or more instances and cannot be deleted until those instances have been terminated. So, yes. So everyone sees that? Okay. There was so much expecting eyes there that I had to say screenshot. Come on. Now you make me do that. Okay. So, yeah, take your 13th screenshot here.
Oh, yeah, it is 13. Okay.
13th screenshot, take the screenshot. So, it clearly says that terminate your machines, then it will terminate or delete, let you delete the VPC. So, do you see this link, view instances in the VPC? Let's click the view instances in the VPC, this link. Everyone seeing that? Everyone? Like everyone? Oh, just kidding. Okay, so let's click the view instances in the VPC, and you can see the two instances there. Select both of them, go to actions, instance state, and there's a terminate written here. It's already there? You're already there?
Yeah.
Okay, are we exactly on this screen?
Yeah.
Okay, then click terminate. Okay, once you click terminate, now take a screenshot. once you're on this screen where you're about to say click the yes terminate, before that take a screenshot number 14. Wow, we're all counting, seriously. Okay, so click yes terminate. Then if it is suppose you forgot this one, so when it changes to terminate, then take a screenshot. Suppose you did not take this yes before the yes terminate, so it is showing shutting down here, but click the refresh. Oh, it's gone actually. Wow, that was fast. So if you refresh, are they gone? No. Okay, so if they are showing shutting down, or are they showing terminate, the red one? Shutting down. Okay, so keep refreshing again. So if it shows terminate, the red one, then you're good. So keep refreshing. Wow, it never. Oh, okay. So VPC ID. What did I just do? Oh, it took me back to the VPC. Seriously? Oh yeah. So the terminate. So instance are showing now terminated. If it's the red sign, then it's okay to go to VPC and delete the VPC. So make sure that you refresh and it shows terminated. Oh, it's not? Okay. So it's just the internet connection. So make sure when it is red, then only go away from here and try to click the VPC and stay there, because you know, there will be more screenshots. So does it show red terminated to everyone? Okay, so for some it's not showing yet, right? So keep refreshing here, guys. Keep refreshing here. Keep refreshing here. Okay, not that much, but yeah, keep refreshing. So if it turned to red, you're good. So if it turns to red, when it turns to red, then you have to go click services and go click the VPC again. You have to wait for it to turn red. And then click VPC. So it's still not red for some.
Okay.
Refresh, 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 right? Okay, if it is red,
I terminated when I went back to re-terminate.
well, if it shows terminated already, so it's okay. We don't have to really repeat that. So, okay guys, if it is red or terminated showing there, then only go to VPC and let's do that again, the deletion of the VPC. So in the VPC, we go again to your VPC and then click this non-default one only.
Sir, mine is not allowing me. It's going to, whenever I go to...
Are you in North Virginia?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And services, VPC.
VPC. It just keeps downloading home.
Oh, okay. Downloading home.
A home page.
Oh, there's another link which maybe you've done the downloading and it's just. Oh. Wow. That's
Just close.
yeah, close all. Close.
Oh, okay, that. Okay, that. Way faster, I guess.
Double check.
Let's go here. And let's go here. Okay, forget that. Let's close that.
Okay, we're good. And actions.
Actions.
Yeah.
And then
So,
back to delete.
delete
VPC.
VPC.
Is that the right one? Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay guys, so let's click the delete VPC, but stay there. So there's a movie going on somewhere here. Okay, so guys, here your VPC here, and then click the non-default, and then click actions and click the delete VPC. I hope everyone's there now. So once you click the delete VPC, do you see this?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of yes. So let's take your 15th screenshot.
Never been so happy
Oh, wow. Is it so? I mean, like, wow, that's a genuine happiness. Okay, so so take a screenshot here, 15th, and click delete VPC. If you've taken a screenshot, only then click delete VPC, and deleting security groups, subnets, VPC. Whoa, that was fast, right? Okay, so if everyone has done that, so now only the default one should be left there, right?
I deleted that too, don't
Really? Okay. So please do not delete that. Otherwise, next lab you won't be able to do with me if you have deleted the default one, right? So if it is gone, then just contact the support on the top right and tell them, hey, get my default VPC reinstalled. Only they can do that. So, okay, guys, we're gonna just confirm one more time here by going to Internet Gateways here, which is the fourth one from the your VPCs here. So once you click the Internet Gateways, yes, only the default Internet Gateway is there, right?
Yes.
Oh, we're good. Okay. So subnets, I'm sure it's all deleted, but and route tables, yeah, everything is default there. We're good. So so the two instances are gone, and the VPC is also gone. So we're good. Let's go for the next lab. Yay! Or yay! Okay. So the next lab is much smaller. So let's go to services here, and then to the first of all, if you go to services for the next lab, this is the ActiveDirectory lab. So let's go down to IAM. See this, security, identity, and compliance, and then here you see directory service, this one. I hope everyone's able to find that directory service. If you're able to find that directory service, go ahead and click that. So what's the plan here? So once you click the directory service, you should be in the console here for the directory service. So I'll just create a quick diagram just to explain. You can just nod that you understood. I'm sure you did understood, and then you nod. Just kidding. Okay, so here what we need to do is we have this very big AWS cloud, and inside that AWS cloud we are installing ActiveDirectory domain. So we're going to be creating a domain here now. So this is a SaaS based model, which just means that it's a software as a service. Which also just means that it's already installed Active Directory. We just need to create a domain on top of it. We just need to create a domain on top of it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. The only benefit of that is that your machines can have some authentication done directly from the cloud here. So we're going to be creating 3 instances here. So what will happen is that once you're creating a domain, we need to define 3 subnets. We will define 3 subnets. Let's keep it 2. So we'll define 2 subnets. It's either 2 or 3 or 10, doesn't matter. If you get the idea, you will be okay. So 2 subnets, because 3 will be just longer lab with the same concept. So we will define 2 subnets here, and this means the directory service will be available on 2 subnets. So we will create our EC2 instances on both subnets. So one EC2 instance will be in one subnet, second EC2 instance will be on the second subnet. So we will just check that are we able to join the Windows machine to the domain while living on 2 different subnets. Now the directory services will be created on subnet 1A and 1B. So obviously we're going to create the 2 instances inside 1A and 1B subnets. So that's how the instances will be able to communicate with Active Directory and we'll be able to join the domain, right? So let's quickly start creating the domain here, because that's going to take 25 minutes just to get installed. Ouch. We're good, right? Okay, let's go. Woohoo. Ouch. So let's go ahead. Now, if we are in the directory services console here, so take your screenshot number 16 here. On this console, take your screenshot number 16. Yay. Okay, so we go for screenshot number 16 now. So have you taken a screenshot here? Yes. Oh, no? Okay. And click, if you've taken a screenshot number 16 here, click the setup directory, this button, setup directory. So once you click the setup directory, you should be on this page now. So there's AWS managed Microsoft AD, that's exactly what we're about to install. Then the second one is Simple AD, third one is AD Connector, fourth one is Amazon Cognito, your user pools. So Simple AD is for if your virtual machine users wants to get authenticated. If your Linux based users want to get authenticated from ActiveDirectory, then you use Simple AD. If you have users in Linux and you have installed the Samba software, if anyone has done Linux, you might know that Samba is used for file sharing between Linux and Windows machines. So the Linux users can communicate with the Simple AD or directory service. AD connector is used where you want to connect your branch to your Active Directory here. So then you use this connector. And Amazon Cognito is used that suppose you create a new website and you want all the users to be authenticated from their emails or from their phone number or from their usernames. So you can use this and connect the Amazon Cognito user pools to your website. So the users, when they come to your website, they will be authenticated from AWS, and then they will go inside your website and use your services. So we're going to be connecting to the top one, which is AWS Managed Microsoft AD. Okay, so take a screenshot number 17 here. And click next. So screenshot number 17 here and click next. Once you click next, there are two types of Active Directories, and it also says that it will be Windows 2012 based Active Directory. So the first thing is this. Second thing is Standard Edition. So this is $86 per month for a company, or 0.12 cents per hour for a company. And this is for Standard Edition for small companies here. And if you want additional domain controllers in the background for Active Directory, it's $43 per month for each additional domain controller. But for enterprise, it is $288 per month, or US $0.40 cents per hour. And any extra domain controllers, you have to pay $144 per month for each additional domain controller. This is going to support, Enterprise Edition will support 500,000 objects, and the Standard Edition supports 30,000 objects. So after 2 weeks, when you get the final exam, this could be all information being asked to you. So could be. So just watch that 4-hour video, torture video again. And oh, just kidding. So anyway, so Standard Edition. I'm just selecting the Standard Edition here, right? So once you select the Standard Edition, let's go down here and directory DNS name. So just give your first name .gb .local. Your first name .gb .local. Once you have given that, then go down here. You can just put your first name again. So once you have put in your first name, then well, the description is not important, so let's keep going down. Now remember that in order to join the two Windows machines to the domain, see this? It says the default user is admin, not administrator. Remember that it is just the admin. When you're joining the machine to the domain, you have to put in the username admin and the password, whatever you're putting now. Obviously, go for a complicated password. I'm just using this one, or maybe I've just not this one. So small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1 to 3, and simple 1 to 3. I'm using this one, so it normally accepts that. Otherwise, if it doesn't accept that, so it's small xyz, capital xyz, shift 1 to 3, and simple 1 to 3. You can just use any one of those. So let's use the password here. So I'm just going to go for small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1 to 3, simple 1 to 3, and confirm password. Small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1 to 3, simple 1 to 3. Well, I think it accepts that. Do not click next, like say on this page. So if you have given the password here, so take a screenshot of this screen where you can show the standard edition clearly showing, plus obviously your domain name, directory DNS name must be clearly showing, and the directory net BIOS should be clearly showing. So standard edition, and this information should be showing here, and the screenshot number is, oh, we're reaching that level, 18, so 7 more. So standard edition here, and directory DNS name, if you have given that and given the password, please do remember the password. Click next. And now you see here, this is the area to really understand as well. You have the default VPC here, which is good. If we had done that for our other VPC, then we would have given other, but we have deleted that already. So default VPC is good, but now you see here subnets, which subnets you want the directory service to be available on. So if you drop down here, you can see all those subnets here, six of them, right? So 1F, 1D, 1E, 1C, 1A, 1B. So let's just stick to 1A and the subnet 1B. And the second one, so first one is 1A, I selected. For the second one, I selected 1B. For consistency, for just clearly understanding the configuration here. So if you have selected these two subnets here, then click, well, okay. So take your 19th screenshot.
Can I see those subnets?
Yeah. So it's just 1A, 1B. So this means that directory service will be available only in these two subnets. Suppose your virtual machine is on, EC2 instance is on 1C. So the EC2 instance cannot communicate with the directory service. Always remember, the virtual machine has to be in the same subnet. Otherwise, you won't be able to join that machine to the domain if they're not on the same subnet. That is the most crucial thing to understand here. So if you have put 1A, 1B and taken the screenshot number 19 there, so click next. Okay, so that's the review page. It's okay. Go ahead and click create directory. Click create directory. So it's creating the directory and it shows up there. This can take up to 20 to 45 minutes. So till 11:30 we'll be done. Okay, so and while it is being created, you can click the C detail. Go ahead and click the C detail. Now C detail is showing this status here. See this? So, and it hasn't given any DNS addresses till now, right? So, and subnets are also showing here. So take your screenshot number 20 here. Take your screenshot number 20 here. So click that C detail and then you see all that. So it is still creating. So that's going to take its time. So guys, keep this page open and we can do this. We can create a duplicate page. Why? Because we need to create two instances, one in 1A subnet, the second instance in 1B subnet, right? So let's click the duplicate, go to another tab, and then go to the Ec2 dashboard. So we can keep an eye on the status of the Active Directory, if it is created or not, right? So go ahead and click the duplicate tab here. So now we have the one tab that is still showing us the creating status, and we can keep on. See this? Refresh. refresh, but it's just still creating. So we're going to keep this page there alive and go to the next tab and then go to the services. Why? Because we need to create two virtual machines that will join the domain on those specific subnets 1A and 1B. So I hope you understand what we're doing. So click Ec2 now and go to the Ec2 dashboard. We're still going to create two more instances now, and we're going to make sure it's going to be two separate wizards there. I hope you remember where did you put those, where did you put that key pair, because we can use that same key pair for these two other instances as well. So if you're in the instances area, you see already the terminated option here, which is okay, they are gone. You're not going to be charged. So after some time, these are also removed from there. But let's create our first instance and we make sure that it is in 1A subnet. That's the only thing we need to make sure, right? So click launch instance here. And once you click the launch instance, go here to Windows Server 2019 base and click select. And yes, it's the T2 micro free tier eligible instance. So click configure instance details. Now here, be careful. Now we just need to make sure that on the default VPC, we are selecting under that the subnet 1A for this machine. Now once you select 1A, one more thing is there, and that is the domain join directory, this one. So if you drop down, do you see your name? You do see that, but if you go to the first tab there and refresh, it's still creating. But now you see one thing extra here, the DNS addresses. Do we all see the DNS addresses? So guys, are they exactly the same as mine? Like so 31, 42, 142. Anyone has that? So it's different. So at least 172, 31 is same, but the rest are different for everyone, right? Okay. Different, right? Okay. So guys, if you're here, take your 21st screenshot here. Like yeah, the page now showing the DNSs as well. Yep. So take screenshot number 21 here with the DNS showing already, right? So the screenshots also then tell us that okay, initially it will not show DNS, but later it will. So the DNS addresses are showing here. Now that's good enough. Let's go to launch instance here. If we now, just to understand one more thing here, if we select the directory service now, it's not going to join the machines to the domain still, because it's still under, it's just creating right now. But guys, if this ActiveDirectory was already there and you had created instances after it is fully completed, successfully done, then those two machines would have joined the ActiveDirectory automatically. It would have. So remember that if ActiveDirectory is fully created, any machine you create in the same subnet gets joined automatically. But now we're going to do it manually, because I want you to show how to do it manually, right? So let's select the domain. We select the domain, but it's pretty much of no use right now because it's still getting created. So you select the domain here. You've selected the 1A here. We're good. Okay, I have just 4 screenshots left. That's not fair. Okay. Okay, take a screenshot here.
So just the
Subnet and the domain selected. Take a screenshot here. We can go up to 30. It's okay. Yeah. What? So okay, here. So domain join and the subnet. That's the only thing we're selecting. Click add storage. Go ahead. Nothing more. So click add storage now. Oh. Do you see this error?
Yes.
So when you drop down, remember that we created a role where we gave full access to the Ec2, and I said that we're going to use it in some other lab. So this is that lab.
Where we did that.
Did we delete the IAM role as well?
I don't think.
Well, if you don't see that, obviously you've deleted that. So we were so good in deleting, right? So we were not supposed to delete that. But anyway, so let me just help you create that. So how many do not see anything here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wait, sir. Let's move on.
So no, like because they deleted it, so this means you cannot finish the lab. You have to stay here all night. And just kidding. Okay, so guys, because even if one student hadn't done it, I would have shown you, right? But there are 5 or 6 who didn't know that. So those who see there already, wait, and those who don't, follow me. So now click the create new IAM role, because that's not going to take much time. It's very simple. So once you click create new IAM role, it takes you, so only those who don't see anything in the drop down, only those follow me, right? So yeah, so click this create new IAM role. Those who are following me, click this. If you have clicked that, you will see a new tab here. If you see the new tab, select EC2. Once you select EC2, then next, permissions.
1 second, sir. Mine is bringing to a blank screen.
Again, the create new IAM role is also a blank screen.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's check it out. And it's not Virginia, right?
Not Virginia.
Okay. Not Virginia is not acting good now. So, oh, no. Okay. Oh.
You have it.
And close that out. Yeah.
Let go back.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go previous. Do I have anything?
Do you have the plotter? But yeah, it would have brought it. So let's refresh that first. And did you press? No, let's go. Yeah. So yeah, again. Open and then there is a yeah, there's a. So yeah, it's a type control. So you have to be here on this page, and then open the public office. And let's say pause no ads. Don't run on this page. Okay, that's also yeah.
No ads blocker. That's
Yeah. So and there's a keep it up proposal over here. This one,
block ads is on.
yeah. Oh, there's that.
Awesome.
Alright, this is
Thank you.
EC2, right? You don't know what to do.
EC2.
So you have to select this one and put this one. So, hey guys, let's go ahead.
Can you wait a few minutes?
Few minutes? What happened?
Giving less.
What happened?
Power.
Power?
Yeah.
Oh. It just shut down? Or somebody who's really
Yes.
standing there.
Sorry, I just gave up. I'm done.
Literally my So you're started, right? Starting or started. So guys, here create new IAM role, and so I was here on EC2, and then next permissions. So let's click the next permissions. Once we click the next permissions here, do you see this administrator access? So click the administrator access. So we're giving all the permissions to this machine. And click next tags. I hope those who were supposed to follow are following. So click next tags here, and nothing in the tags. Click next review. And you have to give a name here. So it's EC2 full access -IAM role. So it is this. Oh, dash your first name.
For you.
Yeah, we just have I think 3 left. So it is your first name at the end, right? And if you've done that, go ahead and click create role. You just have to give a name and then create role. I hope everyone who was supposed to follow have done that. So are we good? We're good? Okay. So click create role. Once you create role here, it is created, but now if you go back to the first screen, this one, so when you refresh, it should be there now. So if you refresh and drop down, do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, select that. Very good. So now we're all on the same screen? Not all? Oh, some of us don't want to go home, right? So not all are on this screen? Okay, let's go ahead because there is nobody saying no. So this means I can go ahead, right? Oh, yes. So click add storage. Click add storage. And then click add tags as well. Go ahead, click add storage. Go ahead and click add tag. Once you are there, go ahead and click security group as well. So because it's a Windows machine, we really need RDP, and that's already there. That's all we need, RDP. So nothing to do on the security group as well. Review and launch. So review and launch and then launch. So just remember, where did you put your key pair there when you were creating for the previous lab, those two machines? It's 26 March that I created, and I click I acknowledge, right? So it's existing key pair and it's 26 March, the one that we created today. I hope you remember where it is that you placed, and click launch instances. Are we all good? There's a wait. We're okay, right? So launch instances here. Once you launch instance, just click that ID that shows here. Click that ID. Once you click that ID, we still need to create the second instance now, and this one is in 1A. Second one will be in 1B. Exactly. So click launch instance and go to Windows Server 2019 again. Select, yes, it is T2 micro, and configure instance details. And then we see here default VPC, and now we understand that it has to be the second subnet for the second machine. Now we could have created the second machine in 1A as well. We can create 200 machines in 1A as well, and they are going to join the domain, but we want to test that from the second subnet, second machine also gets to join the domain or not. So 1B here, and obviously you can see the domain join directory here. We do see our domain here, so go ahead and click the domain join directory, and the IAM role is there. Exactly. Woohoo. Okay, so take your we just have 3 screenshots left. That's not fair. Okay, so take the 23rd screenshot.
We only did 24 last.
Hey, today 25 or 27 maybe. So okay, so did you take it 23rd screenshot? 23rd screenshot. Once you have taken that, click add storage and then add tags. Add storage and then add tags, and then configure security group. It's also okay, RDP. Nothing to change. Go ahead, review and launch. So click review and launch. So no changes after that configure instance page. No changes. Launch. So the same key pair here as well. 26 March. I acknowledge and click launch instances. So the 2 machines are in 2 subnets. Now they better join the domain. So I'm just going to click this ID here, this one, and then click instances so we could see both instances now. Click instances to see both instances. So now, well, ignore the terminated ones, and we have the green ones here, instance state. One is in 1A, one is in 1B, right? So what we can do is that we can try to connect. So let's just check back on the first tab. Is it still creating or TID? It's still ting. Seriously? Okay, that's bad. That's not good. So refresh. Yeah, that normally doesn't do much. So let's connect to both machines, log into both machines one by one. Once you log in, we again come back here and check if it is ting or tid. So let's go to the first machine now, which should be ready. So 1A, let's just go only to 1A machine first, and simply, download the remote desktop file and use a key pair and log in. So, oops, that's not the terminated one, the 1A. Go for the 1A, the green 1A. So only one way right now. So once you select that, go ahead and click connect here, and then download remote desktop. You know the drill now. So download remote desktop and save. Then click the get password. We know the key pair. So it's asking for 26March key pair. In my case, choose file, and there it is, 26March. And decrypt password. So I'm going to grab this information and put it in in the notepad. I'll grab the first machine, 1A machines, this information in notepad. So I don't need the previous information now, so I'll Control A, Control V, just overwrite on top of that. So this is the information for the first machine. I'll just copy the password anyway because I need it now. And go to the remote desktop, just click that. It's gonna start connecting, and click connect. It asks for a password, Control V, that's the password we copied from notepad. Press OK, yes, we know the drill. So it's gonna log in now. Once it is fully logged in, then go to second machine and log in from the second machine as well. The only thing is, we hope today that directory service gets installed. Oops. So while it is logging in, I'm just gonna go to the directory service page again and refresh. It is still ting. Service.
Sir,
Yep. The virtual machine. Using the same key pair. And when you were creating the machine, you said that I acknowledge. So,
I'll just do it again.
are you creating a new machine?
No, it's 1A, right?
Yeah.
So get password.
Yeah, first the download. Which is your already. Okay, then get password. Is it?
Yep. And then decrypt, which is that.
Copy the whole
And
thing.
then copy the whole thing here. $sign at the end. Yep.
It's the same password.
Yep.
Okay. So again, okay. So the above machine is the same, right?
It's the same, I just did it
Oh,
twice.
okay.
Yeah. So then I'll just open this, connect, and copy. And paste.
Oh, good. See, that was so easy.
And it was. Why?
Guys, you try. So guys, refresh this, creating.
Okay.
I hope anyone got created. No. Oh, Created, active. Woohoo. For me, it is active, so that's good. Bye bye. I'm going home. You stay here, right? Okay. So, active. Ah, that's good. Well, refresh. Maybe it's active.
Active, active.
Woohoo! Wow, that was a good one. High five. Or okay, so that's. Let's go back to the machine here and connect to the second one. So, guys, if you're connecting now to the second one, well, let's see which machine is already joined and which machine we need to join. So, ActiveDirectory is ready. I think it's going to be ready for you real soon now. So let's. I've connected to one machine, and inside. Let's go inside the first machine first, and go to the yellow folder here. We just need to see that is it part of the work group or is it part of the domain. So if we click this PC in the yellow folder, right click this PC and click properties. So once you go to the properties, is it join the domain or work group? Work group. So if it is in work group, we have to manually join it to domain, right? So that's okay. We were expecting that. Now the second machine, what about that? So, it's going to get confusing. Let's just join the first machine to the domain and then go to the second machine, right? So let's stick to the first machine now, guys. It's a bit tricky here. If you know what I'm saying, I'm just going to say that for once at least. Then I'm going to show you anyway. So we need to grab the 1A DNS IP and put in the preferred DNS of this machine. It's going to join the domain easily. Well, you have to still put that admin and username and the domain name, it will join. Again, we have to put the 1A's DNS IP into the preferred DNS of this machine. So I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to manually join this to the domain, right? So I'll just go outside to that page here, directory service page, this one. And how do we know that which one is 1A, which one is 1B? So it's the top one here and it's the top one here. So that's a very easy way to assume that. So anyway, if you ping from that machine to this IP, it will be pinging that. So that would also be a second thing, that it is 1A. So 1A is written here. So I'm just copying this for the 1A machine, the top address, not the bottom, the top one. I copy that and I go back to that machine. I'll go back to that machine and I'll click the change settings. Oh, no, sorry, not change settings. I need to go to the network. So in that machine, I need to go to the network address. So I just need to go to the preferred DNS, right? So open network and internet settings of this public machine. And then network and sharing center. And then network and sharing center. Now the network card is there. Ethernet is showing like this. Click the Ethernet properties. We know how to put an IP there. So double click IPv4. Yeah, I think it's too fast. So go to the network settings where you can put the IP. One. Yeah. So 1A IP address, 1B DNS address. So double click V4. Yeah, everyone there? Right? So double click V4 here. The only thing you need to be concerned about is, because DHCP is already giving the IP. So just go to the DNS here, and that IP that is DNS IP of 1B should be put here. Then we will be able to join this machine to the domain. So I think I forgot that IP. I'm just going to go back and check it. So it is, in my case, it is 42.142. Okay.
This is the for the A, right?
1A. You can try, but normally for 1B, better put the 1B IP. So 42.142, yeah. So it's 172.31. 172.31 is same for everyone, but mine is then 42.142. Yours could be different. 142. So this is the preferred IP. This is the DNS IP of 1A. We understand what we're doing, right? So press OK if you have done that exactly. 1A is DNS IP, and go ahead and press OK. Now we know how to join any machine to a domain if we know the information of joining domain. So I'm just gonna go to the yellow folder again.
Wait, sir.
Yep. Were you able to put the DNS IP into
Yeah, but it's giving an error message.
for preferred DNS?
Yeah.
No, no more screen. Never again. I have a flag.
Okay, sorry.
Cool.
PE also.
It's okay. Thank you, sir.
Just using IP, I just simply put not get that.
Oh yeah.
Get the error.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Exactly like that, but okay, thank you. You did.
Okay, guys. So here, this PC, go to properties. We just need to join it to domain, right? Okay. So join it to properties and click change settings. Once you click change settings here, you can see here change, obviously, and now domain. So do we remember our domain name? Your first name .gb.local. Right? We know where this area is, right? So this PC, right click properties and change settings. Once you press OK, it should be asking the username password. So once you press OK, this should pop up, and admin, not the administrator. It's just the admin here. And whatever password you gave at that time. Small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1 to 3, and simple 1 to 3. So I hope you've given this password, or whatever password you gave, just remember that. And press OK. If it joins the domain, we're good. Well, if you see this welcome to this domain, then take a screenshot. Then forget it. Okay, press OK. Then don't take a screenshot. Like, no, like once you restart, come back, come to this area. If it shows domain, you're good. Take a screenshot, right? So just restart. Go ahead and restart. You don't have to check now. So yeah. So domain should be this. Go ahead and restart this. Connect to it again, and then open the this area. If it shows domain, take a screenshot. Same screenshot for the second one. If it's joined the domain, restart it. The domain should be showing there.
So when it's restarted, do we have to go back to launch instance and connect?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna click close and restart now. The first one, right? And while it is restarting, I'll just connect to the second one as well. But I need a final 2 screenshots for the domain showing in both machines. So I'm gonna go to the EC2 console and connect to the second machine, which is 1B, and it's exactly all the steps are same. But I'm gonna use the 1B DNS IP in preferred DNS, right? Cannot connect, like, really? Okay. You're refreshing it, still creating. Wow, the internet connection there. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, guys. So if you got the screenshots, bye bye. So the 2 screenshots, both are successfully joined the domain. The domain word and the public IP should be showing. Right? So domain word and public IP and 2 screenshots, huh? No? Yes? Okay.
Before the name of domain.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Thank you, sir. So I'm just going to connect to the second machine now. I'll click the connect button here, download the remote desktop file. We know the drill here. So get password, it already knows that key pair. So click decrypt password. I'll grab the whole information and put it in Notepad for the second machine now. And then simply connect to the remote desktop file here. Connect. It's all routine now. It's terribly boring now. And then press OK. Press yes. Yeah, it's a lot of steps. So once it's logging in, you might see that it's already joined in the second one. Yep.
So for the Active Directory, we use administrator.
Admin.
Oh, admin.
Only ADMIN. ADMIN, guys. Only admin.
Okay, so now it's the second one, right?
Yeah. Second instance is starting now. As soon as you see the yellow folder.
Okay, so we download them on desktop.
Oh, okay.
Oh. We connect the next one as well.
Yes. And if it is successfully joined the domain, if the domain word is there, that's the last screenshot.
Yeah.
So the second machine is also on the work group. So I'm just going to click change settings. Well, I'll go to the network. Open network of a network sharing and center for second machine, Ethernet, preferred DNS. That's the only change we need to do. So use the following DNS addresses. I'll go and grab that second 1B DNS IP like this. So it's 13.242 for me. 13.242 for me. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll come there now. So I'll just connect it and finally I'll come there. So 172.13. Okay, 13. I forgot again. So it was 13.242. Okay. So 13.242. Really? That was double 13? Oh, 31. Okay. First is 31. Second is 13.242. 31. Oh wow! Hey, that's too soon, man. Okay. Yeah, I'm just opening that upload now. I'll finish this quickly because I need to show it working in the video as well. And change settings. Click change. We know the drill here. So your first name .gb.local. Enter. The username is admin. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay, I put the 2 dots here. Enter. Now it's good. Admin and the password. Enter. It better say welcome to domain. Okay, welcome to domain. That's it. So you're supposed to take a screenshot at that. That's your last screenshot. So both are joined to domain. This is how we join the domain. And I'll open the upload section now. Resuming. So go ahead and delete the, if the lab is successful, I'm just deleting the directory service now. And so directories, I'll just go there, select the directory service, actions, and there is the delete directory. So I'll just delete the directory. If it's gonna ask for directory name. I'm selecting the whole name here and paste and delete. Then I'm going to the EC2 instances. Yeah, actions and delete. So I'm selecting the 2 instances as well actions, instance state, terminate. And yes, terminate. Yay! Bye bye.
So in the
Oh.
directory service, you went into where to delete it?
Did you select the directory? There's a select radio button there. No, not this one. So are you on that page?
I'm in the directory where the ActiveDirectory was.
Do you see the radio button on the left side? The select, if you want to select the directory.
You need to.
Right.
You're still in your directory.
I'm in ActiveDirectory.
You're in the one you made. You have to click here.
Oh, there. Okay, that one. The directory.
Then you'll be able to see the
I
button.
see it. Okay.
And actions,
Actions.
lights, camera, action. Yeah.
Lights, camera, action. Okay. Alrighty.
All right. So, and instances, go ahead and terminate those.
But it's
There you go.
wait, what?
Speed
That's
running.
it. Directory.
Is it on? So were you able to join the domain with that?